Students, welcome to the last part of today's class. We were discussing the Van de Graaff generator, which is the third type of particle accelerator that we have discussed today, and we were discussing the working principle of this Van de Graaff generator. We had seen that there is a pair of pulleys, two wheels over which this rubber belt moves. This is the rubber belt, and we have two metallic combs out here. This like this. Let us name them C1 and C2. Now the first one is connected to a. It is connected to a high voltage source. So whether the polarity of this will depend on what type of particle we are going to accelerate. For what type of particle we require this. Now I made a slight mistake in the diagram actually. This is a dome, metallic dome, which actually will be, the whole instrument will be inside this dome, and this will be inside this like this, and I'll share the diagram and the study materials for this. And we have another comb here, which is also called the collecting comb C2. Now what happens when I apply suppose a very high positive voltage here, so this becomes positive, and what happens, since it is very pointed, the points are like this, very pointed like this, what happens is that charge accumulate here. So there is a high charge density out here, because you know that charge density is inversely proportional to the radius, and so radius of the conductor. So they will accumulate at the points, and then what will happen is that since we will have so many positive charges accumulation here, definitely there will be a Coulomb repulsion, and due to which positive charges will experience a force to move out from this charge distribution, and so charge will be sprayed onto the belt, which is moving very close to this comb. So this C1 acts as a comb, as a spraying mechanism for the charges. So positive charges will accumulate here, and since the belt is moving, it will carry the positive charge upwards here. And let's see what happens in this second comb. In this second comb, see, you know that there is the principle of electrostatic induction, according to which we know that if I have got a positively charged body and I bring an uncharged body near it, this nearer point becomes negative and the further point becomes positive. The same thing happens here. This positive charge gives a negative charge, it gives a negative charge to this comb, as a result of which this inner side becomes positive and this becomes negative. Now this is earthed, this is connected to earth, so what happens that the charge on the outside gets neutralized and we have an accumulation of positive charge here. Now this charge that was accumulated here now moves on, becomes neutral because of this procedure, and then it moves like this, and the whole process goes on repeating, so that a large positive charge, this dome acquires a high positive voltage. As a result, what happens, we have a tube here which is called the ion tube here. This is actually the accelerating tube, the long tube that is shown out here. This is the accelerating tube. So if I want to accelerate a positive charge here, this procedure is applied. So as a result, what happens, it will, due to repulsion, the charged particle will move away like this. and there is again, and if I want to accelerate a negatively charged particle, then I apply a negative voltage out here, and the reverse of whatever has been shown now will happen. Now let us look at this ion tube. What happens inside the ion tube with a separate diagram? The ion tube is such that we have certain cylinders. Actually, it consists of cylinders, hollow cylinders like this, which are maintained at increasing voltages, negative. So if this is minus 50 volts, then this is minus 100 volts, and so increasing minus 200 volts. So as a result of what happens, the positive charge which was repelled by the dome like this, it moves like this and gets attracted by this, and it enters this, but then it does not stick here because we already have this minus 100, which is more negative than this minus 50. So it will be accelerated further and it will be collimated to a fine beam, and then by means of applying magnetic field, if I have a target here, a magnetic field is applied perpendicular to it so that it will move in a circular path, and then it will go and target the target nucleus, or the part where we require this charge, this positively charged particle, to go and hit. So this is a very simple principle, and I'll be sharing all the study materials in your Google Classroom. So this is all about the particle accelerator, the 3 types of particle accelerators that is in your syllabus. So I'll stop this class here.